Hey, 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 party people. It's Brandi and Cesley, and we're back with Blooming Through Faith, the podcast that helps you grow and bloom in your mindset, lifestyle, health, and wealth. We want you to know that you're capable, beautiful, and worthy. Okay, guys, Cesley and I wanted to jump in here and do a quick episode for you guys. We have zero notes here.
We're rolling blind.
We just rolling blind. We're just gonna go for it. There's been something that's been heavy on our hearts lately, and we just wanted to kind of give our thoughts and our feedback. And that biggest thing is people supporting people and women supporting women, and you don't have to have the same values or views, but you don't have to attack other people too. And when you voice your opinion, so like if you voice your opinion and you're allowed to say X, Y, and Z, but then if you get offended with somebody else's comments or think something else, that's a problem. That's a problem. So I want to start with this one thing that I've already said in episodes before, but dang it, I'm going to say it again. And I want Cesley to give me her thoughts, and then we're just going to go back and forth. But like, women should be supporting each other. It is already so hard, especially if you are, one, just a mom, two, a working mom, right? Juggling all of the things, which is what we talk about in our podcast. But why would we attack other moms because of the way they feed their children, because of the way they dress their children, because of how they decide to play with their children, how they decide to have their pregnancies, how they decide to, any of those things? Like, why in the world would we think that we are better than them? Okay. One, why would we attack anybody? Let women live their life, period. Now, of course, there are some nasty things that are on social media and people that shouldn't have children. That's totally different. That is not what I'm talking about. When babies are unsafe and not being loved on, that's completely different. And like, voice your opinion, right? So if a woman decides that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, that's a hard ass job. Let's give her some respect. If a woman decides, I wasn't meant to be a mom, I don't want to have kids, I don't want to get married, cool, that's hard too. That's her want, that's her wish, right? I was just with somebody who was like, I've always wanted to be a mom. Like, I love what I do. It was actually my hairdresser. She's like, I love what I do, but I've always wanted to be always wanted to be a mom. I've always wanted to be married. She's like, I am so happy in my life right now. I have my son, I have my husband. I couldn't ask for anything else. And if she didn't have to work, she wouldn't work. She loves her clients, but she wouldn't have to. And that's right.
Me either. No, I'm kidding. I'd totally work.
I think you and I would we have like our missions are so big, but it would be different. We probably wouldn't, because Cesley and I do have to provide for our families. So we probably wouldn't work so much while our kiddos are young. I think that's what I would say. And then there are some people who want to be like us. They have a mission. They want to grow in a company and impact lives, and they want to have children, and that's good too. A is not better than B, it's not better than C. Nobody is better than anybody else. We are all uniquely, beautifully made. We all have different wants and needs and things that set our soul on fire. So as women, can we take a step back and stop thinking because of the route we chose to go, we're better than anybody else?
And can I also say, like, it is so hard as a woman, just in general, to be vulnerable with other women. So if a woman is sharing anything with you, like, I don't know who some women think they are in the fact. And if this is you, maybe this is like a hard awakening for you that we're talking about this, because like, if for a woman to be vulnerable with another woman or a group of women is hard, because like, women are mean, right? Like, this is exactly what we're talking about. They're mean sometimes. I don't understand it, but they're just mean sometimes. And so when someone talks to you about whatever their choices are and your immediate thought is judgment, like, you have no idea, unless you have grown up with this person your entire life, you have no idea what they've been through, why they make the decisions that they make. Like, we come from such different backgrounds that for you to sit there and judge someone else for their choices, it's just mind-boggling to me, because you have no idea what they've been through. Like, what made me think of that is when you said, you know, there are some women who don't want to have kids, don't want to get married, you have no idea what type of childhood they had.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, their experience of being a child might have been a horrible one. You know what I mean? Or they might have never had a parent around, and they're like, you know what? I have no idea how to even be a parent. Or they could have worked really, really hard to get to where they're at now. And they're like, I just love the life that I've built for myself right now. Like, we see everything through our own lens instead of thinking, oh, well, like maybe they've been through something that I have no idea about.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even care.
there's a few other things. Let's stop the timeline too. Let's stop the timeline. So if you're in your 20s and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I want to get married and have kids, but I haven't found my person yet. And I wanted to get married at 25 and have a kid at 30 and have another one at 32, whatever that was like mine. It was like 28, 30, 32.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Stop. There shouldn't be a timeline in your life, right? When the time is right, that's great. Stop asking people if somebody's been married for 10 years, stop asking them if they're going to get married. Stop.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to get married. Like Cecily just said, maybe
no
they
idea.
don't believe in marriage. Okay. They don't have to, right? Stop asking people when they're going to have children. Woo, no.
That's really the worst one. It's the worst. It's so bad. And honestly, before you start on this again, I'm going to just be totally honest and say, like, I used to be one of these people. Like, straight up, I used to be one of these people. I had no idea. I was in my 20s. I was a young mom. I loved having kids. Having kids changed my life. I was like, everybody should have kids. This is great. And I was naive and I was a little bit ignorant, to be totally honest. Like, we're all about growth in this podcast. We tell you guys we've gone to years of therapy. We've been through hard things. We have grown, y'all. And I used to be the person that would ask everybody why they don't have kids. And if I could go back to every single person I asked that and remember all of their names and like write them an actual apology letter, I would, because foot in mouth, it's the literal worst, especially as someone who's going through my own fertility journey. Every single time someone's like, oh, are you guys going to have more kids? I'm like, sure. Working on it.
And then you die a little bit inside because you're sad because you're working on it, right? The same thing happened to me, Cecily. Like after we had Troy and then we had a miscarriage in the first trimester. So we were actively trying. But a few people said to me like, hey, when are you guys going to get pregnant again? And it was so many people where I finally just lashed out and I was like, I had a miscarriage. We are actively trying, but nobody knew that because it was in the first trimester, right? And so there are so many people who struggle that are in the same boat as Cesley. It's nobody's business that are trying to get pregnant and can't. 1, 2, people who have gone through losses and are trying, and then 3, people just don't want kids right now, and that's okay. Right? So don't ask that. Don't ask when you're getting married. Don't ask when you're having a kid. Don't ask when the other kid is coming.
And on this, let me tell you, I'm going to speak for all Christians here. We as Christians really don't do a great job of this, okay? Because like if you were to pull every example in the Bible of women who made an impact and were part of this journey and were part of Jesus's plan, who their journey did not involve having children, okay? They were part of the Bible for multiple various reasons, powerful women. Your journey God's journey for you doesn't always mean getting married and having children. And I think as Christians, we have this like cookie cutter American culture of Christianity that's like, well, marriage is between a man and a woman and we have a child and we do this and this is what you're supposed to do. And nowhere in the Bible does it say every single Christian person is supposed to be married and have a spouse and have children. That's a beautiful gift that the Lord has given us. 100%. It is a beautiful covenant between like myself, my husband, and God. That's our relationship. It is a beautiful covenant with the Lord. But God has called some people into singleness. God has called some people into a different divine plan. And I've seen some people do incredible things with their lives that had they gotten married and had children, there are lives that would not be going into heaven because of it. And that's God's plan for them. So as a Christian, I'm like pleading with you, other Christians, like stop passing judgment on people for living their own journey that God has them on. You have to stop.
Oh my gosh.
Icky.
That is so good. That is so powerful. And unfortunately, there are some Christians that give us a bad name.
They give us a bad name. They really do. I'm like, stop speaking for Jesus, please. Stop it. Like, stop. Because he would not be saying what you're saying. Whatever you're saying.
100%. 100%. Let's just live with integrity, right? Also, here's another thing, and we're going to wrap it up. We're going to keep this fast, but give people grace. Give people grace. So many times we run to conclusions. Oh my gosh, that person didn't text me back. They're mad at me. Or, oh my gosh, this person said this and it came off that way. And they're being passive aggressive when maybe they were just busy. Maybe they just, responded fastly. Oh, this person doesn't respect my leadership because X, Y, and Z. Or my family members don't want to see me because I haven't heard back. Like, let's stop assuming the worst. We always
assume so much about people.
We do. We always assume the worst. And you say this all the time, Cecily. It's like people aren't thinking about you. Like we're automatically thinking people are doing all of these things.
People always think that. Like, people are selfish. I hate to break it to you, but people are I'm selfish. I'm walking down the street thinking about YOU, my own self, okay? I'm walking down the street
It took me a
thinking
second. I was like,
about
what is that smell?
I'm walking down the street thinking about what I'm doing that day, who I got to talk to, what I got to do for my kids, what I got to do for my business. I'm not thinking about the fact that you texted me an hour and a half ago when I was in a meeting and I haven't texted you back yet. I'm going to get around to it when I get around to it. But when you assume, friends, you know what happens. I'm not even going to tell you. You know.
Yep.
It's the worst.
Yes, stop assuming people are busy. Okay, they will get back to you. And then sometimes, guess what? They forget because we're busy. So don't get upset with your best friend because you asked her if you guys could grab drinks soon and she didn't reply because her son needed help pooping and then she had to cook dinner and then she forgot about it, right? So let's continue to give each other. To you? Yeah, all the time.
That was very specific.
All the time. I try to go back and not miss messages, but I do. And then the last thing that's really on my heart is there's so much negativity in this world and people feed off of negativity and they will jump on a bandwagon to attack somebody else. Can we stop? Can we just say, hey, you know what? I'm actually not going to do that. And I'm talking about like social media too. We've talked about it before. Detox some people out of your life, like block them. Ooh, I had to block some people this past week. I'm like, no, we done. Like, we're not playing these games because my heart is here. My mission is here. I have so many people that need to help me that I'm not going to see your nastiness and your negativity because you're posting it all over social media. So just because people post things doesn't mean you have to react to them. Okay. And when you post something and somebody reacts negative, like Cesley, it's always like my favorite thing when she's talking about like that one reel she made and she had these eyes.
That girl was so mean.
Like, what was the purpose of that to even call you out on your eye patches?
So in
like,
case you guys didn't see, I was making a reel and I had eye patches on for my eye bags, okay, that I don't have, but I had them on the wrong way. Because I have almond-shaped eyes, okay? So I put them on differently because I don't even have to explain myself, okay? Even if I did just have them on wrong.
If you could have just had them on wrong, it doesn't even matter. Like, I wish you would just make a video with one on your nose next time and see.
I should just put them on my forehead because they'll work there too because they're just good for your skin. I'm going to put one on each cheek. And this woman commented and she was like, hey, hun. Or sweetheart, something like that, something condescending. And she was like, I just have to let you know you have those on wrong. And I think what I replied with was, well, I guess some people would just notice that. Like I wouldn't.
And I loved your response. And that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, y'all, let's not attack people. And I've said this before, like if somebody spells something wrong and this is usually me, somebody spells something wrong on their Facebook or on a post or something, instead of calling them out and be like, you spelled sorry wrong. You missed an R. Like text them if you think it's that important. Like just send them a message.
Also,
it's
like
really
rethink yourself.
But
it's
like
not
you think
that important.
You calling somebody out like and they're supposed to be your friends. So let's take a second. People you follow on social media, you're supposed to like them. They're supposed to be your friends and family. You're supposed to support them, love on them, encourage them, not be negative. And then if you don't agree with people, that's fine. Everybody can agree to disagree. I'm just saying I personally don't agree with putting my thoughts on other people's messages if it's not positive.
So I have a family member who used to say this to me and it was the greatest thing I ever heard. And I say it, I try to pass it along whenever I can. And it is, if it's not something someone can fix in the next 5 minutes. So if it's not something in their teeth or something in their hair or like something like that, if it's not something that someone can fix within 5 minutes and it will make their lives better, it's not worth saying. So like if you're going to comment on somebody's grammar or there's something that's just going to make them feel bad, it's not worth saying. And at the end of the day, friends, like you really need to practice being unoffendable. Because people are going to say things that are the worst to you. And like when that one woman commented on my reel, I was just like, okay, like what is your problem? It didn't hurt my feelings. It didn't bother my day because I was like, wow, she's got nothing better to do than to do that. That's cool. Like, and people do that all the time because I am a Christian and I am going to share faith-based things and I'm very specific about it. And what I like, you don't have to like, but I'm going to share my vision and my passion. And I have people all the time that comment and they're like, you're wrong. And I'm like, cool.
I love that. offendable. That is
unoffendable.
the biggest thing. And here's the deal. We talk about it all the time. You know your heart, you know your mission, you know your purpose. It doesn't matter if you are the kindest human in the world. People are going to not agree with you and
Someone's
they're going
gonna
to
not
attack
like you.
you. So yeah, exactly. So just let it go. And this is the last thing. And then we are going to wrap this episode up. And then let us know if you guys just want us to jump in here and like talk like we just did today without any notes
Answer.
or any takeaways. Anyway, so if she said, Cecily just said something and was like, woo, if your friend has something in their teeth, tell them.
Yeah.
If your friend walked out of the freaking toilet and they have, and yes, this
Toilet
did
paper on
happen
the
to me when I was pregnant, and there's toilet paper hanging out of their bathing suit, tell them. Let your friends know, okay? It's not going to
Yep.
embarrass them. They're going to be thankful that you said that. And then also compliment people. Oh my gosh, compliment people. If you think somebody's dress is pretty, if you think their eyes are pretty, if you like their hair, if you like the way they handle themselves, like tell them, okay? That could truly make their day, because I think it all the time. Like anytime I see something I enjoy about somebody, I want to make sure that they know it is not awkward at all. It'll completely make their day. Acts of kindness. So anything else before we wrap it up, Cess?
Just remember, you have a chance to be a source of positivity for the world, okay? Positivity and encouragement. Your interactions with every single person on this earth can impact them in ways that you don't even know. So like Brandi said, compliment them, lift up their spirits, be optimistic, like be unoffendable, and don't be the person that ruins someone's day because you're having a bad day. Just don't. Like, just think before you speak.
Just be kind. All right.
Be kind.
And remember, you're worthy, you're capable, you're beautiful, and we can't wait to watch you grow, girl.